Today we're going to drunk dial you. Today we're going to talk shit about your car. Today we were going to ask you for a personal loan. Today we're going to talk about why the Buffalo Bills are going to win the Super Bowl. Today we're going to talk about why Jimmy Carter was the greatest U.S. president of all time, and I'm not kidding. What is going on, Barages and Baragettes? It is CH from Homebrew for Life. Today we are talking about beer recipe software, the free stuff, the not so free stuff, but ultimately stuff that I use. And we're not boozing today. This is the most boring video you will ever see in your life. I promise. It's beer recipe software, but if you want to keep going, crack a beer, take off your shirt, and say goodbye to 15 minutes of your life. I got a question from Mark Piles asking what software I was using in the last video. Now, quick disclaimer to avoid any salesman bullshit. Will using the most expensive beer recipe software make you a better brewer? No, it's not. Just like guitars or editing software, if you suck at guitar and you buy a Gibson Les Paul, it's not going to make you better at guitar. But with hundreds and thousands of hours practicing guitar, over time, you can suck less. Same with video editing software. If you have no idea what you're doing, don't spend $300 on Final Cut Pro 10 like I did. Use iMovie or GoPro Studio and figure out how to organize your files first and how to keep them where you want to be, because that's the hardest part of editing, is just finding what file you want to use and how to utilize it. And then just use the common tools until you've outgrown that software. Fortunately, learning beer recipe software doesn't take anywhere close to the amount of time as it takes to learn guitar or video editing software. Watch a couple YouTube videos, plug in a couple recipes, and you could have any software mastered in a couple hours. Back to the disclaimer, will free stuff or not free stuff make you a better brewer? No, but the stuff that you have to pay for is going to have better user interfaces. It's going to have phone apps. It's going to have more functionality. Some of the stuff looks better when you print it out and want to see it on paper. I'm not saying that the free stuff doesn't work. I'm just saying that the Brewfathers are just better, and we're going to see why. Now, as far as spending time on beer software, I'm on Brewers Friend the most, and I've never spent $1 on Brewers Friend. Guilty as charged.
You got me.
Every time I hit my final gravity, what do? I go straight to the Brewers Friend to figure out my ABV. They've got the calculators that I use most on the fly. Check your water profiles from around the world, building your own water profile by adding beer salts to your mash. We actually just did a video on that. If you're interested in knowing about the water that goes into your beer, click here, Mr. Magic Chime. You hear that? I think I've messed around with everything on here except label generator. I actually have no clue how this stuff works. Brewers Friend, also a great recipe builder, which saves and prints out your recipes. I think it's $25 a year. You pay that and no ads pop up, and there's forums and such, but I already pay for Beersmith. Like most home brewers and commercial brewers, Beersmith is what everybody has been using for the last at least 10 years, I think. I've been using it for about 7 years, and I have Beersmith on each of my 4 or 5 computers. I have no idea why I have 4 or 5 Macintoshes, but why get a job when you can just keep buying stuff on credit? Before I get into Beersmith, let's talk about Brew Target, which is actually free. It gets the job done, but it's very outdated. It looks like some MS-DOS shit. But what I don't like about Brew Target, and to be honest with you, I've only used it a couple times, is you've always got to add your stuff in. See, look at this. There's 4 hops that start with an A. Where's Azaka? 5 hops that start with a B. Where the hell is Belma? C. Where's Calypso? Nothing for D. All right, they stumped me. I can't even think of a hop that starts with a D. Let's give them the D. Of course, you can add in your own hops, yeast, fermentables, spices, water agents, etc. The positives is that it's free, and it does have this scale. The scale is pretty much what sold me on Beersmith back in the day. Your gravity is ABV, IBUs, SRMs. It is clunky, and you add in your amount in pounds and it changes it to kilograms, and it's just weird. I'd probably resort to this if brewing software was $100 or $100 a year or something, or maybe I wouldn't. I probably wouldn't. Let's look at Beersmith. every brewer's best friend. It's big, it's beautiful, it's very professional. I feel like I'm a doctor reading somebody's charts when I'm playing around with these style charts. I've already made a video on how to create a recipe in Beersmith. And if you want to check that video out, Magic Chime City. Let's add stuff, and we've got everything in there. I love Beersmith, and to be honest, I don't mess around with probably half this stuff. I mess around with the scale. The scale is awesome. People DM me on Instagram and YouTube, how much do I use if I'm just making a 1 gallon batch? And my answer is always, why the hell would you make a 1 gallon batch of beer? No, I'm just kidding. Actually, I'm not. It's got all this stuff here, add to cart, remove inventory. I don't think I've ever even clicked on this. Should we click on it? I'm a gold member and it's only $15 a year. That's like $1 a month. That's less than your gym membership, and you haven't been to the gym in 3 fucking years. Beersmith fam. But, there's a new sheriff in town. I know a lot of people like Brewfather, so I hit up some fellow homebrewers on social media to see what they use, and more often than not, it was Beersmith. But the people that had tried both, Beersmith and Brewfather, preferred Brewfather over Beersmith. I did a podcast with Brian from Short Circuited a couple days ago, 2-3 days ago. Check out the broadcast on Spotify and soon to be Apple iTunes, I think tonight. And he prefers Brewfather. I listened to him. He's been brewing for like 13 years or something. So I spent yesterday morning playing around with it, and it's pretty awesome. And before I forget, try them all for free. They all have like a free monthly trial or 3-week trial. And after playing around with Brewfather, it is smooth. It's got my Anvil Foundry in here. I have no idea how that affects anything, but I like it. Brewfather is $20 a year, which is hard to complain about, at least for me. If you want a thorough tutorial on Brewfather, then check out David Heath's channel for that. But we can go through the user interface, and if you really want me to do a tutorial, I will. I don't know if you've noticed by now, but a lot of the same homebrewing channels, we just do the same videos over and over, and this guy did it, now I'm going to do it, now I'm going to do it, now this guy's going to do it. But I will make that video, because I could make that video within an hour or two, and I don't have to spend any money. Shout out to Genus Brewing. Shout out to Genus Brewing. If you listen to the Spotify broadcast, he wants to do more Will It Beer videos, but those cost him a lot of money. And it's nice to make YouTube videos that don't cost too much money. And this doesn't cost any money. We're just wasting time right now. I'm just wasting your life. So it's awesome. The only thing I didn't like about Brewfather is when I printed it out, it looks like this. The format of Beersmiths is much easier to see. If you get the Brewfather app on your phone, it's way easier to look at. I know people like that. I've been reading about Reddit. I don't have the app downloaded on my phone, but I'm reading the Reddit forums, and people swear by it, and they love having Brewfather on their phone. I like to print this stuff out and put it on a clipboard, then it becomes real to me, and it's a lot less easier to lose for me. But I will use Brewfather for my next couple brews, and I will give it thorough examination, and we could talk about it on our Wednesday night happy hour. We'll be back tomorrow night. Sorry about last week. And let me know in the comment section what you guys use. And I've always said you can learn more from a YouTube comment section than you can from the actual video. And let me know what you like, what you don't like, what you got ripped off on. All in all, if you've been using Beersmith, you're probably just going to stick with it. I mean, why fix it if it's not broken? But if you're new to brewing or brewing software, But if you're new to brewing and you're trying to decide how to save your recipes as a Pokedex, for the extra $5, I'd go with Brewfather. And that's it. No more looking at my shitty face. Check out the podcast on Spotify. Check out our Wednesday night happy hour. All the links will be in the bio. Call your grandmother, tell her you love her. Call your mother, tell her you love her. If you don't have a mother, call your best friend's mother and tell her you love her. Tune in tomorrow night on the happy hour, and we're going to talk about why Jimmy Carter is the greatest president of all time. Cheers to eating good and drinking good.